Let's go, baby. Baseball and coffee. What's up, Grounds crew? May 5th, 10 o'clock, Tuesday. Getting into another great week of life, baseball, all of the above. Why is my eye looking so swollen from my allergies? But we're hanging in there. Hope everybody is great. Let's see what we got going on in the chat here in the morning. What do I think is wrong with Ketel Marte? I didn't know anything was wrong with Ketel Marte, so if we have time, maybe we'll take a peek at that. Dodgers beat the snot out of the Asterix, and I'm feeling good, okay? All right. What's up, Jane? Loved your emails yesterday. Making some improvements moving forward. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Oh, yeah, good call. Cinco de Mayo today. Wow. All right. Happy to all that celebrate. Man, I didn't even know. I wasn't even aware of what was going on. But I hope everybody's great this morning. We're just getting rolling here. Let's hit the standings, and then let's get into some stuff. I was thinking about maybe we could, I don't know. I was thinking some John Sterling stuff still. Best calls. I don't know. All right. Here's where we're at. Here's where we're sitting. May 5th. Still early, but at the end of this month, it doesn't really feel like early anymore, in my opinion. All right. Yankees 24-11. They just swept the Orioles. They're plus 76. They're running away with the American League best team at the moment. The next best run differential in the American League is plus 17 of Detroit. The Rays are at plus 11. The Mariners are at plus 3, and everybody else is negative. I don't know if I've ever seen such a discrepancy this early in the season. But that's kind of where we're at right now. Yankees 24-11. Tampa's a game and a half back. They've won 9 out of 10. Including 4 in a row. They won again yesterday, and they're keeping pace, but the Yankees are still ahead of them. Toronto, who just lost to Tampa, 16-19, Orioles 15-20, and Red Sox 14-21. I got to tell you, all three of those teams, that's a disappointing start this early. All right, in the Central, Cleveland, Detroit are tied at 500, 18-18. Minnesota's in last, 15-20. They're only 2.5 back. Now that Scooble's out, that probably changes some things in this division. This division's feeling gettable. Don't look too hard now, but the White Sox are only half game out of the division lead, and it's we're in the second month of the season, so that's great. Good comment right here by Jacob. He sees it. It's May 5th, and the White Sox are in a wild card slot. So, all right, let's throw this comment up here by Spec while I keep going. All right, AL West. A's are 2 over 500 and 2 ahead of the Mariners, who are A's are 18-16. Angels 13-23. They had thank goodness they had an off day yesterday because they are playing bad baseball, 1-9 in their last 10. Now they have the White Sox, so we'll see what happens there. All right, on to the much stronger National League at the moment. Braves, plus 80 run differential, 25-11. They did lose their most recent game. They are 8.5 up on Washington and Miami, who are tied at 16-19 apiece. Also, shout out Max Kranick, got a major league deal with the Nationals. Had been talking to him behind the scenes. I'm glad somebody finally popped Max Kranick on a major league deal, so that's good. He's going to get up there, probably late July. Mets in last, although they are starting to gain some momentum. If they can win another game in this series, they'll really have that momentum. They're 13-22, 11.5 out, but we're going to ignore most of that for now. All right, NL Central continues to be the strongest division in baseball so far. Cubs 23-12. They've won 6 in a row. They feel unstoppable at home. They're 15-5 at Wrigley so far this year. Walk-off last night by former Met and Dodger Michael Conforto and Giant. Cardinals in second. They are not supposed to be this good, and I've been investigating them a little bit stronger since I have their game on Thursday, but they're 21-14, 7 over 500. It's a great place to be at this point. This whole division's strong. Reds 20-15, Pirates 19-16, Brewers 18-16. I have a Brewer to look at today as well. Brewers actually have the second best run differential, and they're in last place. NL West, Doyers 22-13, game and a half up on San Diego. Rockies who have now lost 5 in a row. They continue their series with the Mets tonight. They're in last, 14-22. The Giants are 14-21. They did call up their top prospect, Bryce Eldridge, who we're going to take a look at too. I don't know if he did anything last night or not, but I was hoping he would break with the team, but he didn't out of camp. So he's up now. I mean, they're desperate for some offense. So let's see what we got. Davis Martin might just be the real deal, outperforming Soriano. He's on my list. Show me Mune. We will see Mune maybe we'll just start with some White Sox stuff since I'm seeing a lot of White Sox comments in here. Murakami's home run may be his most impressive yet. Sam Antonacci heating up in the leadoff spot. Mune finally hit a double after 14 home runs. So it's crazy. He had no other extra base hits besides dingers. Headed into yesterday. So kind of wild. All right. I don't even need to look at the sorter yet. That's fine. Let's jump right into that White Sox game yesterday since there's multiple things to look at. 6-0 winners over the Angels. Jose Soriano did make the thumb just preemptively. Didn't know how he would pitch, and this was his first clunker of the year. He got clipped for 2 homers in this game. Looks like Vargas and Murakami got him. Antonacci in the leadoff spot. It's been mentioned. Let's take a quick glance at Sam and the early metrics on Sam. The thing about Sam in the minor leagues was, and even in his whole pedigree going back to college baseball, was his on-base percentage. I mean, you're talking elite on-base guy, like crazy high. So far in the big league, 66 plate appearances for my Paisan friend, 273, 379 on base. And then the slugging's 436. He's not going to be a huge slug guy, but he's going to be a big on-base guy. That equals to 815 OPS. Looking at these, obviously he doesn't have enough to qualify. I like the fact that his bat speed is still 70. I feel like if you're not in the 60s, that's a good sign. He's not chasing. He's not whiffing. He's not striking out. He's even got some barrels to his name. So he's been a huge piece moving up, and I'm starting to like this White Sox team more and more and more, especially now that we're starting to break down some of their pitchers. We'll get to Murakami in a minute, and Antonacci. We'll take a further look. I think we should start, though, with the man of the day, Davis Martin. 7 innings, 5 hits, no walks, 10 strikeouts. Now has a 1.64 on the season. So between him and Sean Burke, they're doing some things in the rotation here in the early going. Some guys are having a lot of success. He's 5-1, 164 through 7 starts, 44 innings, 43 strikeouts, 1.02 whip. Savant and ex-ERA don't really agree, but he's getting a ton of chase out of the zone. He's got 34.3% chase on the season out of the zone. That's helping his whiff rate get a little better. He's right around league average on that, but he's got above league average on K. Another guy with tremendous walk numbers, 4.7% walk. If there's one thing I've noticed from the White Sox staff early is they're doing, particularly these two guys, Burke and Davis Martin, are doing a great job throwing strikes. It's not a ground ball approach, but it is working. It is really working. Last year was his first real run through, and he put up a 4.1 in 26 games, 25 starts, 142 innings. So, all right. Let's see what he threw in this baseball game. Davis Martin. 27 fastballs, average 94.6, which is above average for him. Changeups, 21 of those. That's a really good pitch for him. Slider, 13 of those. 11 cutters, 8 sinkers, 5 curveballs. All right, real quick, before I even start looking at the vid, what's the difference between his slider and his cutter? Slider is 1 and 4. Cutter is 6 and 2. So they're kind of blended. You can sort of, if you click on Davis, you can sort of see it in the pitch chart. Yeah, the browns and the yellows are kind of not as distinct with this pitcher as some others. Looks like the fastball, sinker, and changeup are all distinct, which is great. So I'm wondering what's the more effective offering and why he does this with the cutter slider. But let's see, usage. Threw them both against both hands. Couple sinkers mixed in, couple curveballs. 37% whiff is an awesome game for him. Really, it was the slider. Holy cow, 9 whiffs on 11 swings at the slider yesterday. All right, so this was Angels, White Sox. Boy, the Angels, man, they are really scuffling off the rip this year. All right, what we got in here? White Sox starters have the 5th best ERA to start the year. You know, I have to say, man, White Sox are, I mean, we talked about it a little bit in the offseason. We were starting to get excited. And this is starting to become a real question. I mean, they don't have a great record yet. But I feel like they're pretty good. I'll deal with that later. I think they might be pretty good. And also, this is a good comment as well. Don't forget Kyle Teal is back sooner or later, and he's really awesome as well. So we'll get to the Red Sox stuff in a little bit. Just hang tight. We're going to watch some White Sox right now. Davis Martin. All right, strikeout of Zach Neto to begin this game. We've watched a lot of, just happen to have watched a lot of Angels games recently because a lot of pitchers have had good performances against them. There's that slider. Remember, he gets 9 whiffs on 11 swings in the game from this slider. There's one of the first ones. Little chase action. All right, next up, Mike Trout, 4-seam fastball. Beats him in, gets it right to the corner, rounds it out to Vargas. Doesn't have a ton of lift on that 4-seam. And then a strikeout of Shanuel with that slider, which has been really, really, really good, especially in this game. He's got good spin on it, 2,600. He gets it to that below the zone. So that's the first inning. Second inning, another called strike 3. This one's on a sinker. Nice pitch to Soler. How do you set that up? Let's see if there's a slider. Slider off the plate away, and then he comes back with the backdoor 2-seam, so very nice. The rebuild is progressing with the White Sox. Yeah, no doubt. All right, so 3 Ks in the first 4 batters. Here's Moncada. 0-2 fastball. Actually not a great pitch, but that's a heck of a play by the second baseman, Meadroth. Yeah, that was filthy play. So 5 up, 5 down. And 6 up, 6 down as he's going to blow this heater by Joe Adell, and he gets him the chase off the corner away on that fastball. So a really clean first 2 innings for Mr. Davis Martin here. Very nice. Let's check the delivery while we're here. So he's a permanent stretch guy, Davis Martin. He's got the pitch comm on the side of the glove. This is some interesting nuance here. Check the angle of the foot down here, the back foot. It looks like it's actually angled a little bit the opposite of what you usually see. You usually see that foot kind of cocked back. And this one's cocked forward, so he's helping himself maybe a little bit with his orientation there. Also, that's Adam Eaton, by the way. Spanky, they used to call him. Anyway, there's the strikeout again of Adell, and he's perfect through 2. And we'll move on to the third. All right, third inning, another 0-2 count. Here comes a sinker. That might have been a changeup or something. Kind of a weird choice to go 0-2 sinker away to a lefty, but this ball has crazy drop on it. Damn. I mean, 1.7 vert at 92. This is a pretty quality movement. A lot of movement on this pitch. Anyway, gets the chase, gets the rollover. Nice play there. All right, here's the first hit. It's Chase Darno on that sinker again. I think he's kicking his sinker or something. It's weird that it's so much slower than his fastball. Like, way slower. Anyway, we're a little rolled ground ball hit. That's part of it. Change-up coming here. Yeah, I think these are change-ups. I was going to say. Wow, nice conversion by the infield there. Very nice conversion. Is this Mune? Nice play by Mune over here. Yeah, good recovery, great throw, good tag by Colson. Let me just do a quick recon on the sinker slider stuff from Davis Martin, speed-wise. So his sinker averages 92.8, okay, and then the changeup's 90. Wow, not a lot of speed separation at all between these pitches, but the changeup. So I don't know whether he's throwing the sinker has been averaging 8.6. If it has that much drop, it might have been a power changeup. Those couple pitches we saw, that would make more sense. 0-2 sinker away to a lefty doesn't make a lot of sense. It has to be the kick change. So I'm with you on that, Jacob. Adam Eaton, former White Sox player, 2 great seasons, 2015 and 2016. I was never a big fan of him. He always bothered me with the Diamondbacks. Whatever. Nationals, Diamondbacks, you name it. Anyway, probably a really good player to have on your team, but he's the type of guy you don't like on the other team. So that's the end of the third after that nice double play, and we're on to the fourth. Oh, what's up? Goobaza. Back to the top of the order. So minimum through 3. Here is a cutter, it says, although I don't know if this isn't a slider either. I can't tell the difference really between his slider, cutter, and his sinker and his changeup. But he gets the same type of chase that he got in the first at-bat from Neto. See you later. All right, next up. I don't know if that's a slider or a cutter, but he gets Trout looking. So really nice there. Here comes the second hit of the game. This is also called a cutter. Unclear, but base hit by Shanuel leaves that one in the zone. Doesn't get it below. Oh, airmail throw. So, man on second. And now he's going to get Soler out with that pitch that we still don't know what it is, cutter or slider. Little roll over to Vargas. It says this cutter has more lift than this, so I'm assuming these are sliders. All right, nice job through 4. Kick change coming here. Called strike 3. Accidental front door to Moncada, frozen. Not a great catch, but it is in there for strike 3. Nice pitch. Eaton was part of the revolt over Adam LaRoche's son. Interesting. Oh, he was scrappy as hell. He is a scrappy ball player, Adam Eaton. All right, in play outs here, 96 up in the zone. It is so weird how much slower the sinker might be than the 4-seam, but that's useful. Although I have to say a lot of those felt like changeups. Yeah, beats him at the top there. All right, we got 2 outs, and there's Josh Lowe who's going to get him with the slider. They are not seeing that pitch very well. He's gotten a ton of chase on that below the zone. Nice pitch. All right, he's through another inning. On to the 6th. 1 pitch out to start the 6th to d'Arnaud. Actually, he's got 2 hits. He's got a hit on a sinker and hit on a 4-seam. There's Antonacci in left field. Base hit by d'Arnaud, being aggressive, so man on. And now he's going to get a 3-pitch strikeout to Adam Frazier, 4-seam up. Very well located. Nice pitch there. 2-0 to Neto, 3rd time through. Goes to the changeup, 2-0. Kind of mishits it, pops it up out to Peters. Easy play there. I'm not seeing a whole lot of dangerous contact. And then another in-play out to Trout. Squibs it off the end of the bat. And another pretty easy inning despite the leadoff hit. All right, 7th inning. Shanuel going to get a hit here. It's his 2nd of the day. First pitch fastball. That's the only real approach I've seen working so far is get him early in the count. d'Arnaud did it. Now Shanuel does it. Leadoff double on a 4-seam. All right, another strikeout on a slider to Soler. Man, they're really chasing off that edge away. That ball is definitely holding really well. It's hard to tell from here, but it's just a subtle movement. It's only 5 inches, but pretty late and pretty firm. So, nice pitch there, 1 out in the 7th. Here's Moncada, 4-seam. Jams him. Up in. Lazy fly out. Here comes Antonacci. 2 outs in the 7th, and then he's going to finish his outing with the next 2 batters. It's a first pitch hit. So they've had tons of success swinging at the first pitch, but that's about it. Base hit to right, can't score the run, so 1st and 3rd, 2 outs, and he'll finish this outing with this 2-pitch at-bat versus Lowe. Cutter backed up, and then cutter again. This has got to be a cutter because they got the high target. Middle. So running out of a little gas here in the 7th, and it's very fortunate that that ball didn't leave the yard. Josh Lowe, 104.5 at 22, but hit it to straightaway center, and that ball didn't carry hardly at all through the marine layer here. So great outing by Davis Martin. It was kind of an easy outing, to be truthful. Not a lot of threatening moments. Let's check him out again from the side. So a little bit of a coil on the initial move. He's got to watch out for first base coach to get his pitch grips out of the side of the glove. But anyway, he already has his hands back, so I think that makes his hand takeaway pretty simple. Drops it right in. There he is with the full stretch. I feel like this is very repeatable. I like this delivery. Very repeatable. I don't see a ton of deception, but I mean, I don't even know what his pitches are. They blend so well together, so it's kind of fascinating. Do I think he's 164 good? No. I'm not seeing any stuff here that's outrageous, but he's another guy, man. Every pitcher in the league's doing it. They got so many different pitches now. They utilize them very interesting. I'm intrigued by the changeup. The changeup seems like a very good pitch, a power pitch, and then he had such huge whiff on the slider. Makes me wonder why he doesn't throw it more often. What are the numbers on the slider on the season are insane. On the season for the slider, they're hitting 0.87 off of it with almost 60% whiff. So he's probably going to throw more sliders moving forward. And really, he's just trying to protect his four seam, which is the pitch getting hit. So it's weird because the cutter's getting waffled. 375 with a 450 woba, and then the slider, which is almost a very similar movement, it's completely opposite results. So I think he'll lean more into the slider probably over time. I didn't get to see any curveballs. So yeah, it's a fastball. It's the two fastballs, the breaking ball, and the changeup. But man, you don't really see that too often. 59.6% whiff on a slider is no joke. Is no joke. Is it sustainable? No, probably not. But I think he's good. I think he's a good pitcher. I think the walk rate is a great place to start. He's not going to be a bad pitcher this year, but I don't think he's 164 good either. He's going to run into some contact issues against some other teams. The Angels just kind of stink right now. So anyway, that's Davis Martin. Also in this game, we had three batters really to check up on. Maybe even, man, really, we could do a whole White Sox segment here. But we'll start with Murakami. He homers again, 3 hits. He's now up to a 961 OPS, 14 dingers to tie Judge at the top of the league. The guy's a menace. Munetaka Murakami. Let's watch his ABs from yesterday. In the 2-hole. First at bat versus Soriano, 4-pitch walk.
There is ball 1 from Soriano. Murakami.
Yeah, I can explain this a little bit more in a minute.
As you'd expect, are home runs. He has 13 to start the year, and he has a cap.
So, obviously, the biggest thing with Murakami that has held up tremendously well is the strike zone judgment stuff. He's not chasing, and that's forcing them in the zone against him. And if you make mistakes in the bottom half of the zone, and now with any pitch type, the consequence isn't usually a single. It's a freaking dinger. You know? He's got that type of thump. See, Soriano gets the heater up now, and he's able to convert him into a pretty easy ground out there. Terrible feedback by Neto. Why did he throw this ball in slow motion? He throws this ball hard, they probably get the double play. Yeah, what are we doing? All right, so we'll walk and a ground out. Third at bat versus Soriano. Splitter strike. I'm not worried about Soriano, by the way. You're allowed to have a clunker every now and then. I know his last 2 starts haven't been as electric, but I expect him to pick back up any minute. All right, so 0-2 count. Let's watch him battle. 97 up. Here comes that knuckle curve that I've been high on. That's a good take. And then here's 98. Let's see the mistake. It's not even a mistake. It's a good pitch. And he cleans it out anyway to dead center. This guy rakes, and he's so hard to pitch to because he'll look terrible on one pitch 1 minute, and then the next pitch he'll hit it. Or you'll go look at his chart and you'll say, oh, he doesn't cover up. But the thing is, again, when he connects, the consequences aren't usually a single. They're usually a dinger. I mean, this is an impressive pitch to home runs. Pitch is 98 up and away. Soriano's 4-seam doesn't have great shape, but it's been pretty dang effective this year. and he just flicks it 109 at 32, dead center.
Murakami sends one packing.
This guy's ridiculous. All right, third base view. Man, it's all hands too. Like, how does he generate so much thump? Crazy. What a beast. What an absolute beast. All right, that's the home run. Next at bat, first pitch hit, left on left. Cleans out a freaking fastball in on him from Mitch Ferris. There's the double, the first double of the season for Murakami. All right, next at bat, another hit, another left on left versus Ferris. 91 away, strike. Here comes the changeup. Great take. Continues to have great take after great take after great take. Changeup. That's just nasty. Takes a huge hack. So he's down 1-2. Now he's going to get another hit on a changeup. He couldn't hit a changeup to save his life at the beginning of the season. And now it's just not a great plan. Now he's hitting them. So another hit up the middle. So single, double, homer in this game, and a walk. Tremendous. He's playing so good right now. He really is. It's crazy. The home runs to center, they're all bombs. Average exit velo, 95.3, 98th percentile, 100th percentile hard hit. So it's funny, the two guys that were 100th percentile hard hit as of yesterday were him and Tatis. And he's got 14 bombs, and Tatis has 0. But I mean, he's down to the first percentile whiff. Imagine if he was like 10th percentile whiff instead of first percentile whiff. Now you'll be talking just insane. But it's really the walk rate and the chase rate that are doing it for him. He's also been pretty damn impressive at first base. A lot of people missed on this guy. It's going to be interesting to see if they can effectively extend him, which I think they would have a good shot, right now. Go talk to the man. Extend him, lock him up a little bit, because you have something brewing here with the White Sox, and you don't want this to be a one and done. More teams are going to be intrigued if he can keep this up. So I would think about it, because he's got the player option, and he's not taking that at this rate. I mean, he's pretty much a lock to hit, 35 homers or more? So I'm pretty impressed by Mune here in the early going. Can't hit velocity. That swing was gross. That was exactly where he tried to throw it. I mean, it was. That was insane. I want to know what Mune does for batting practice. What's he working on in the cage? So to me, it was like pretty obvious that in spring training, he was working on velo at the top, because he was coming in above some of the fastballs, which tells me that he was trying to over adjust, worried about being under fastballs. But I mean, the adjustments, the stance adjustment with the load has been amazing. And, now he's been able to ride out every pitch. So I feel like all he did really was get his setup right, and I think that it took a little bit of the mystery out of it after he hit for a little while. It's insane. How feasible is it for a first base coach to pick up the grip and relay to the batter? Extremely feasible. Teams do this all the time. You get a lot of good tips from the side. And then you saw the clip of Judge peeking out of his peripheral vision. So it could be done. You could relay to the batter something from the first base side. That's why, as a pitcher, man, you got to be buttoned up out there. You got to make sure they don't see anything in your glove. Don't give any of those grips away. Hard to tell if he was really good or if the Angels are sleepwalking, talking about Davis Martin. I mean, man, the Angels have been so disappointing. They always come out looking like some energy early, and they're in a bad spot right now. My jaw did drop when I saw the location, for sure. I'm still riding with Soriano, Spec. I'm not worried about him. Still riding on him. The Mune making a run at Rookie of the Year. High outside had been an absolute hole in his swing right up into that point. That's the thing about him. Like, he's got a little Stanton in him. Whereas, like, I can't figure it out. Like, and it's tough for pitchers, because it's like, you see him swing and miss at a pitch one time, and then the second time he doesn't swing him in. All right, here's his ex-Woba on fastballs versus righties. Up until this point, he's been demolishing fastballs only middle, and slightly pulled down in. If you're on the corner at the top of the zone, you've been great. If you're away, you've been great. That home run was up in that red area, up and away. That makes no sense. So again, like, he's just confusing. And I know that's one of those things where the pitcher's going to go back and take a look at the scouting report. And he's going to say, I did everything you told me to do. And it didn't matter. So, but I mean, again, a lot of it's just the thunder in those hands. Like, he delivers the barrel to the ball and good things happen. He's amazing. He really is. Let's see what he looks like on off speed now. Here's all breaking balls versus righties. Yeah, just don't hang it. You hang it, we bang it. You hang it, we bang it. And then what about the changeups? Because he was awful on changeup early in the year, but I feel like he's doing a lot better now. Yeah, I mean, he's got some damage when they make a mistake in the zone and don't get it to the bottom. So, I mean, really, he's done well on all pitch types. I don't really have a lot of critique for him. Of course, I'd like to see the swing and miss come back to earth a little bit. With 43% whiff is crazy, but who cares when he's putting up these numbers and walking so much? 377 on base, 584 slug. That'll play, kid. That will absolutely play. All right, as for Antonacci, he went 2 for 4. We just looked at him. The on base is the big thing. Let's take a look at his ABs in the same game. Sam. First at bat walk to lead off the game, and that's what he's there for, and I love him in the leadoff spot. That's been his calling card his whole career, is just getting on base. So is it accurate to call him a mistake hitter? I'd say for the most part, yes, except you just saw him hit a pitcher's pitch out as well. If anything, he's just extreme level of power, and that's kind of, you can't overstate what exit velo can do for a guy who's pretty good at hitting fly balls. Even though he's not hitting as many balls in play, he's earning a lot of value out of the ones he does hit in play. There's a tremendous takedown by Sam. 99 down on the 4-seam. This could have been a freeze, but that's just down. Good take, and then he's going to walk him on this next 4-seam. So Sam gets a walk that first at bat. You can see he loves it. He takes pride in this shit. Watch this little freaking dirt devil. Look at that. Look at that roar on a walk. Ah! I mean, he knows that's his job. I love this kid. I was so impressed with him in the WBC with us, with Italy. Not only his baseball acumen, but also just like his level of compete, his level of, I don't care where I'm at, I'm going to play my game. And his game is impressive. All right, he's going to probably get out this at-bat. Down 0-2. Oh, nope, gets a hit on an 0-2 sinker. Flips it into center. Another great job by Sam. Ultimate contact hitter, makes great swing decisions. Base hit there. Here's another hit. It's going to be, so he owned Soriano in this game. He was a big catalyst and part of the reason they were able to get Soriano out of this game. The way the catcher looks at him when he screamed is funny. Yeah, that's a veteran looking at a rookie like, what was that? What was that?
Major league home run for Antonacci. He's yet to hit one traditionally.
I think Mune has the ability to look for something that he can't normally hit and can kill it when looking for it. Yeah, perhaps. And if that's the case, watch out when he starts hunting super intelligently over the next few years, when he starts getting a radar on him like the vets have. Impressive. All right, let's see how he gets this hit here. This is hit number 2 on the day. It's another fastball. Just goes with it. Goes with it. It's great hitting. You give me 9 Sam Antonaccis, we're going to win a lot of baseball games. We are. I know we're not going to hit a lot of home runs, but we're going to win a lot of baseball games. And I have no idea what the white thing on the ear flap is. Maybe he has a crack on his helmet and they don't want to give him a new helmet. I don't really know. But yeah, pretty crazy. Ooh, this is a great question of the day. Higher ceiling, Mune or Kaz? I'm going to put that as a poll in the chat. All right, I threw that poll up in the chat. We'll see what you guys think. I would probably vote for, higher ceiling. I think Kaz is a more well-rounded player, although Mune is impressing me a lot at first base. But, man. I'll vote Mune, probably. just because he's got the ability to hit 60 pumps, which is like insane. 50 or 60 pumps, which is like that's record-breaking stuff. So that's where I would give him the credit early. Hey, babe.
Hi.
Whoa. Don't knock my coffee over.
It's badminton.
This is badminton? Where'd you get this? Funky Monkey?
No. After the doctor, I went to that Smart Toys.
Oh, Smart Toys.
To find needles, but they didn't have any, so I just got badminton.
All right, love you. What'd they say about you? You feeling okay? You're doing okay, or
it's either a pneumonia, a rhinovirus, or
are they giving you medicine?
Just a fever. I'm not sure, but if this keeps up, Mommy's taking me to the hospital for an X-ray.
Oh, great. All right. Love you.
Hi, everybody.
That's daughter number 1. Sick at home. Kaz is a little older. Yeah, I would probably give the nod to Mune in this comparison, but it's a good comparison. Rhinovirus sounds deadly. I think she'll be okay. At least I hope so. Don't want any bad stuff to go on. All right. While we're here, we're looking at some White Sox. Let's just browse a few White Sox offensive players pages. Here's Miguel Vargas. Former Dodger farmhand, has looked great here in the early going. I know he doesn't have the batting average to show for it, but 807 OPS through 150 plate appearances, 228, 360, 447, 807. 807 OPS. Also, just a very steady Eddie type of hitter at the plate. I love the combination of that they have like Antonacci and Vargas on this team, and then they have the power guys like Montgomery and Murakami. Like I love the White Sox. I'm really enjoying the White Sox this year. I knew we would watch them more. It's really fun to watch them. Check out the profile, 99th percentile chase. So between Antonacci, Vargas, and Murakami, you better throw the damn ball over the plate if you're facing the White Sox. I love that. That's a fundamental tenet of a great baseball team, especially on offense in the modern era. Don't chase. Make the guy come to you. So very excited to check that out. Miguel Vargas, great decisions, plus big gain in bat speed. Ooh, 68th percentile bat speed. Right here. 73.3% bat speed. What did he miles an hour in the bat speed? What did he have last year? Yeah, he was 25th percentile. Good call. Good call. So a bat speed improver to go along with his already rock solid, chase ability. He doesn't strike out. He walks. So now he's going to be able to produce a little bit more. And sure enough, the expected slug has jumped up. And now we have a really nice player on our hands in Miguel Vargas. That's Miguel Vargas. Then you have Colson. Montgomery, another huge power guy. All he's done is hit 30 home runs in his first 429 plate appearances. This season, 822 OPS. He's got a similar issue to Murakami in that he swings and misses a lot. 9th percentile whiff, strikes out a lot, but above average in chase. Tremendous bat speed. He's going to have a lot of power. He's going to hit a lot of homers. Also, didn't know that this was a big part of his game, but turns out he's awesome at shortstop. 6 outs above average here in the early going, and that's being a slow guy. So those 4 players on offense are really exciting to look at when you're talking White Sox baseball. I'm not forgetting about Kyle Teal, of course, but man, big credit to the White Sox and everything that they're beginning to build. Now, can we keep it going? Can they parlay this and keep going? Keep going. All right, let me hop in the solo and then we'll get on to something else. How can so many teams miss on this guy with all the data available, not to mention the market that he opens for your team looking at you Mets? Well, that's the thing. They're looking at too much data. They looked at too much data and they thought, just because he didn't hit a few 95-mile-an-hour fastballs in Japan and he whiffed a lot, that he was going to automatically suck at MLB. And that's just not real. That's just not reality. Like, they needed to talk to him. He's made adjustments. Clearly, this guy's a good player that can raise his level to the level of competition. So for me, I think maybe it's too much data, to be honest with you. Fretting too much over some red flags they have in the data. And really, right now, we have an epidemic of players who are being doubted by the analysts because they have too much whiff in their game, even though they have massive exit velocity and power potential and really OPS potential, if you think about it like that. You know, Spencer Jones, Eldridge, we're going to look at later. Murakami was one of these guys. So I don't know. I think, you know, scouting has to be more than just spreadsheet browsing. You know, you got to watch the guy a little bit. You got to get to know the guy a little bit. You got to talk to people who understand how the person ticks, all these things. I need to see more sample size for Mune, but so far he's been proving a lot of teams wrong. Pre-MLB scouting reports didn't have Colson as a great fielder, although the reviews were steadily improving as he rose through the minors. Are we entering the video of the era of the White Sox, Pirates, and Rockies? Who would have thought? Well, it's all got to come around at some point, so we'll find out. Amaya's gone the other way, too. You're betting on human beings, never an exact science. Yes. Tim Kurchin said it well recently on a podcast. This game is too good and too difficult to predict. You can't predict it. You can have things that you think are going to happen, but this thing changes on a dime so fast, and it's really hard to predict, and everything that we're doing is on these projection models. And honestly, these models don't win baseball games. I'm sorry, they just don't. Not alone. Not the models alone. They might help point you in the right direction. But, you know, not alone. Not alone. Also, somebody pointed out that Murakami faces the best of the best in Japan more often because of the 12 teams. That's true. It's been 5 to 6 weeks. Let's see where we are in a few months. No doubt, but I mean, there's no doubt this guy's a useful player. There's no doubt. Wonder how long teams were given the opportunity to go short team. No, on a 5-year made some sense, but for 2 of 40, I just don't understand how nobody else wanted to go at it, you know? I call it the power profile, looking at a Savant page and seeing deep red up top with some blue situated at the bottom. Jordan Walker's another one like that. And you can't necessarily predict it, Susan. All right. Next up, we're going to go over to the Red Sox game yesterday versus the Tigers. 2 players I want to highlight and take a look at in this one. Also, let me give you my thoughts on the Skubal situation here in a minute. Before we even get started on this one, he was supposed to be the starter in this game. My thoughts on Skubal here in the early going about the injury stuff is, okay, so he's got loose bodies, not uncommon, but I think given the discomfort that he felt the other day, and who knows how he felt in his bullpen this week, if you think about it long term, the only move is to get it taken care of right now. You have plenty of season left. He can come back later in the year, reestablish that he's Tarek Skubal, and then go ahead and out on the free agent market. If he lets it linger and then either his performance suffers, or all of a sudden now you're blaming elbow, loose bodies towards the end of the year, and you have to pull the chute at the very end, that's going to really impact his free agency. So for me and for the Tigers, get it done now. I know it sucks. It sucks that he can't pursue the 3 Cy Youngs. And is this a predictor of future injury? Yeah, it probably adds some percentage points to that, but you don't know for sure. Every situation is unique. And it sucks. We don't get to watch him for a few months, but I think for him, it's kind of a no-brainer. Go get it taken care of. Try to get this behind you because you have a big payday potentially coming, and you don't want to do anything to get in the way of that. And this is why you sign Framber Valdez. This is why you sign Framber Valdez. So that makes the most sense. Yeah, Tolle's next. All right, we're up to Tolle. Here we go. Payton Tolle. So had a great one. Looked insanely good in his first start versus the Yankees. Wasn't as good last start. My whole thing was, let's see where the velocity is at. To me, when he's not 96 plus consistently, the fastball is good, but it's not the same. You can't bully everybody with it. And then the off-speed pitches, how consistent can he be in executing those? His last start, very poor. First start, pretty good. Especially curveball, sprinkled in a couple nice changeups and cutters there. So that's the question with him moving forward. It's the secondaries, and it's, can he pitch with his hair on fire every 5th day, or is that going to be more of a most of the time thing or a some of the time thing? Because I don't think he's as good currently constructed, because he doesn't have a lot of pitchability and feel out there without his best fastball. So anyway, he pitched great yesterday. This is Scott's comment on Skubal. Yes, fix it. Those things move around. It might be okay, but you never know when it's going to land. It's true. Okay, check Tolle's windup. He changed something with his delivery for sure, so I'll check it. All right, so here's the outing yesterday. 7 innings, 1 hit, 2 runs, not earned, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, 83 pitches. Everything's looking great here in the early going because he's punching the world. Let's see what his breakdown from yesterday was. All right, 30 fastballs, 19 sinkers, 15 curves, 13 cutters, 6 changeups. So he was able to sprinkle in a decent amount of off speed. He did average 96.1 with that 4-seam, 94.6 with the sinker, 21% whiff. So actually, this is a game where he dominated without as much whiff as I typically think he needs to do well. Faced a ton of righties in this game. Through 71 pitches versus righties, only 12 versus lefties. So it's probably likely only one lefty in the lineup. 36% chase. He lived in the strike zone. So let's see. Let's see. Tolle versus the Tigers. All right. First at bat, Jahmai Jones, 3-pitch strikeouts. So we'll watch all 3. They're fastballs. Strike 1 there. Looks like he might have shifted to the middle of the rubber. Don't know if that's new or not. And then, so we'll see. Fastball, curveball for the strikeout. All right, so that's a positive development. Although I have to say, even though he gets the whiff here, this is kind of a middle 0-2 curveball. So it's not exactly great command there, but it works. Strikeout number 1. All right, here's a sinker to Vierling for the ground out. Hit very hard right at Story, who works it into a tough throw to make it an easy throw, if that makes sense. 1 out there, and then another quick out here on a fastball into Dylan Dingers. Beats him off the plate in. Pops it up. All right, so a very good first inning. Showcases some strike throwing. Gets outs on curveball, sinker, and 4-seam. All right, Riley Green, sinker in. Little dribbler. Get over there, big fella. Pick it up. Oh, my God. I'm just glad nobody got hurt there. He makes the play. All right, 8-pitch at bat. Called strike 3 coming to Torkelson. 97 down. He knew that was a strike the whole way. That's way in the zone. Let's watch that again. Nice pitch. All right, and then another strikeout. This is 98-5 up. When he throws above 96, his 4-seam is just ridiculous. Again, you layer in, talked about it a lot, but he's got like a quadruple factor going. 18.4 vert. 7.3 inches of extension, right? That means he's even closer to the plate. He's also going to be low release height, and he's got tremendous velocity. So all of these factors combined to make his fastball look like a freaking aspirin tablet coming to the plate. And that's what you see there as he blows it by Juancio Perez to end the second. 3rd inning. Here's an out on a cutter to Lee. Cutter middle. Little pop-up. There's Wilson. I don't like the young guys, Contreras. I kid. Pop up there. And here is Colt Keith. Sinker to him, so there's 2 lefties in the lineup. I do like that sinker left on left. You can see guys have a tendency to swing at it in off the plate. And that's a really nice thing to have happen when you're pitching. Can't hit a ball hard in off the plate generally. Chews them up. All right, next up, it's another strikeout. So faces the minimum through 3. Ooh, Shorty's back up in the big league. Zach Short, former teammate. We used to play Nerf basketball in the clubhouse together. Has a nice jump shot. All right, just doors him, though, here with a fastball. Tries to go up in, misses down away. Doesn't matter. So first time through the lineup, lawnmower stuff. All right, second time through, Jahmai Jones. Fastball up. Misses down middle. Not a good pitch. Gets away with it. Flies it out to Sadon. 1 out there. All right, here's an out to Vierling on a changeup. I like his kick change because it's got kind of weird movement. This one's also middle, and he gets away with it as well. So definitely getting away with some pitches in this game, even though he's going to face the minimum through 4. Dingler hit that ball hard. Really hard. 104.5 right at Sadon. So that's it for the 4th. 5th inning. All right, first base runner, Riley Green. Sinker in off, and this time he gets to it. Unbelievable. I said nobody ever hits the ball hard in there. Sure enough, he does it right away, and he's going to get himself a double. Man, they would have had him, too. Got the throw in time, but it's offline. 111.7 Riley Green. I have to say, this is a great swing. How do you hit this pitch? Look how far in this is. If it's up, he can't do it because he's so uphill with his swing, but man, How do you get to that? That's impressive. So man on second, no outs here in the 5th. It's going to come back to strike out Torkelson with a curveball. Ah, that's what I'm talking about. Get that curveball into the good location. All right, he's checking a box here. Very well executed off-speed pitch and a plus count. So that's good to see. Nice pitch there. All right, next up, first pitch out to Perez. Ground ball to short. Story takes that one. 2 outs, man on third. Let's watch this whole at bat as he tries to dig out of this inning. First pitch, cutter, strike. Okay. Curveball off of that. See if he gets it in a good location. Yep, right at the bottom of the zone. That's good. 0-2. Fastball up should be here. Fastball in for the freeze. He's still like, he's not very precise, but he's throwing a lot of strikes. And I really like, see the effect of that fastball when he starts with some off speed. Makes it play up even more. All right, 6th inning. He's going to go ahead and hit Cole Keith with this first pitch sinker. Right off the hip. So, leadoff hit by pitch. All right, next up, in-play outs to Zach Short. Looks like it got really rainy and wet here. Pops up the bunt, and Contreras comes and dives and catches it. That sucks for Shorty. All right, back to the top of the order. 4-pitch walk to Jahmai Jones. So he's got himself into a little bit of a jam here. 4-pitch walk. And here comes the runs to score here.
There's contact right to third. It's a tough wild throw from
Oh, it's some sloppy baseball. Very sloppy baseball. And 2 runs come home on that. My goodness. All right, so the ball is a shattered bat, ground ball to third. I think he's afraid of the bat, so that's why the throw is what it is. Is that Monasterio? And then Narvaez forgets to catch it, trying to make the tag play. And then because of that, man, what a crazy play. Great job by the runner on second to score on this. Once it gets by, there's plenty of time. So he comes flying around third, and he does score. Man, that's crappy. He got the ground ball he wanted, and all the runs scored. Dang. All right, here's a strikeout. Dingler, curveball. There it is, below the zone. Checking some boxes. I like that. That's very encouraging. Curveball execution getting better. And then he punches out Riley Green to end his outing. Or not to end his outing, but to end this inning. High heater. Good pitch. Finally got it up to Riley. Good pitch there. All right. Out for the 7th. Curveball coming here to Torkelson. Flies it out to left. Got a very weird camera situation going on. I think because they pulled a lot of the camera guys out with lightning in the area. In play outs here to Perez. Popped up in the infield. Man, you can see it was miserable weather. There's no people at this game now. So he goes 1, 2, 3 in the 7th. I love that. I thought he was cooked after the 6th, but he comes out and does a really nice job in the 7th. Yeah, they pulled all the cameramen out of there. Sadon runs it down in the outfield. Just one unfortunate play. He threw the ball really well. He really did. He really did. He utilized his other pitches very well. I like the sinker. Curveball execution was way better. Way better in this game. He dropped some cutters in for first pitch strikes. So he checks some boxes. He answers some questions. We just have to keep watching him, you know. I didn't see anything with the delivery yet, but we'll keep checking. We'll keep checking on that. He looked good, man. I wish I could see his reactions off the mound. There was also a funny exchange between him and the checking his glove. Oh, have you put some more thoughts into getting the Streamlabs bot for the chat? I just need to learn how to do it. Then, yeah. Have you talked to me on Discord, Spec? He got 5 days rest this time. Last time was 4 where he struggled. Coming from 6 days in AAA, he said, yeah, I got to figure out my recovery days and get more sleep. So this is the ultimate question. Jane's on it. When he feels good out there, he's a force in the rotation. Fastball plays, commands better. And he can kind of let it hang out a little bit and let it eat, which is his specialty. I think, will he be able to do this on 4 days rest, day in, day out, week in, week out? I think that's a big box he has to learn to check over time. He had more rest this time, looked better, looked sharper, came out, and did a nice job. Yeah, perceive velo up with the extension too. Why do guys in their early 20s want to look like they're in their 40s? It's just it's just a thing right now. It's just a thing right now. Great hand speed. All that stuff about Contreras was taken out of context. He's so good with them. You see how it goes. Settled early on the mound. Meyer and him said there was nothing. I know. I was just making a joke because I think it's hilarious now. You know. In the second, Tolle. Yeah, the Tolle tag of Green was ridiculous. He looked like everybody looked like they were going to get hurt there. There's going to be a collision. Tolle looked like he might fall. The whole thing. I don't mind the weird cameras on those plays. Honestly, kind of cinematic. How often will pitchers chew out their fielders for clubhouse and the clubhouse for defensive miscues? Almost never. You can't do that. But there are a few assholes that exist, for sure. Look at Soriano and Darvish's delivery. I'll check that in a minute. Remind me, Waste Tray. I'm sorry about that. They had a sign saying the crowds must evacuate, and the cameraman, apparently. All right, while we're here, I also wanted to dig in on Jarren Duran, who's off to a really bad start, but he had a big day yesterday. 3 for 5, home run, 3 RBIs. He's just got over the Mendoza line. He's up to 607 OPS. If the Red Sox are going to contend, they need Jarren Duran. They need him. So what are we looking at this year? Everybody's chasing that 2024 Jarren Duran year where he had 21 home runs, 34 bags, 834 OPS. He's off to the slow start this year. But I'm telling you, this guy's got talent. He's got to figure it out. He's got to figure it out. He's too good. Combining above average bat speed, 79th percentile bat speed with 95th percentile sprint speed, it comes down to he could use some White Sox training. The chase rate, 35.9% chase, way too much. I think a lot of it is his load. He has to commit to swinging too early in at bats. Too early within, when he sees the pitch. I feel like he has to make a lot of decisions early, and that's what ultimately gets him with his strike zone judgment. But they need him bad. They need him bad. Really, really badly. He does go 3 for 5, though. So let's check out the at-bats where he got some hits. First at-bat, he's going to get a hit here, left on left. Sinker. And this is what I'm talking about. So I don't have a problem with leg kicks in general. But with him, he has to decide so much earlier because he doesn't ride pitches out that well. See, that leg kick's just so high, and it's kind of late. I'd rather see him get the leg kick up early. See, he doesn't bring the leg up until this point. To me, that's too late. You get it up early, you kind of wait. You stay back on that back leg, and then you can wait. But he gets it up and down, and I feel like that messes with his timing and ability to recognize pitches and make decisions a little bit. Jarren Duran is, for my money, the best base runner in the league. All right, here's a base hit on a sweeper. Pounds it through the right side for hit. He's also a menace on the base paths, to your point. So it's crucial for the rest of the hitters to have this guy up. Have him on base when those big boppers are supposed to be coming up to the plate. So, I think that's a big thing. All right, second at bat. Now he's got Madden. He's going to get another hit here. Ty Madden. First pitch slider down. Second pitch splitter.
Long hold from Madden and Duran.
Now he's going to get a hit on a fastball. Predictable fastball. Another pull side on the ground, but hit hard. 1-on-1 5-base hit. And then the biggest swing of the game comes here versus Vanasco. This was the game winner. 2-0 in the 7th. He comes up with this at bat. Curveball, ball 1.
Maybe he can put some English on something, still knock it in.
Fastball strike on the corner. Here comes a changeup.
1-1.
And then here comes the home run on a fastball, and he goes oppo with it. It's just stupid power because he didn't hit that ball very good for him. But the fact that he can take that out to left shows you the tools he has, the bat speed he possesses. 99 miles an hour at 33, takes it the other way, doesn't even really know where it went. Where did it go? It snuck out down the line. But you can see his immediate reaction hitting it. He's not sure exactly what happened. And sure enough, that ball carries out for a game winner. I mean, he's a freak. He's an athletic freak. I've seen it up close. The kid's a monster. I do think he's doing something different with the bat angle. So anyway, I say all that just to say the Red Sox really need this guy to swing it if they're going to get back in it offensively. He's one of the few guys that has potential to hit 20-plus homers and a lot of extra base hits and mess some pitchers up on the base paths. So, he needs to get going. And I know it's been bad early. This is what the 2024 Savant page looked like. The chase rate was league average. To me, that's the biggest thing. He straightens out his chase rate. Good things happen. What was he last year in chase rate? 30th percentile, 26. He's down to 17th percentile. So maybe he's pressing a little bit, trying to do too much, swinging too much. But to me, that's a big deal. And that's kind of the whole story with Duran at the plate is really just his chase rate. Bat speed has kind of hovered around the same area for a while, so that's not a concern. But I don't know. I look forward to seeing if he can dig out of this. Yesterday was a good first step. All right, back into the chat. Wonder if this will be Bayo's last outing if he craps the bed again. I don't know, man. He's on a long contract. But so we'll see. And I don't know what you do with Bayo if he's not starting games, so we'll have to see. He's been changing his stance lately. He joked with Nesta in postgame he flips a coin to decide. Yeah, it feels that way. I mean, obviously he feels so comfortable with that leg kick drift move, but it's like he's been changing his bat angle. I know in the past he was more straight up. Now he's a little bit more down, trying to drop into that slot. But yeah, he's trying to figure out exactly who he wants to be up there. Bayo not starting today? Okay. Marcelo Meyer also had a good game last night. He's been on a mini run. All right, we'll take a quick look at Bayo at Marcelo as well. Just at least metrically, he went 2 for 4. He's at 676 OPS. This is what we're looking at with Marcelo. One thing I like about him is I think there's big upside in this bat. I know he hasn't shown it yet, but above average bat speed, above average strike zone judgment in terms of chase. So he's swinging at strikes for the most part. I think that will eventually manifest itself in being a pretty good hitter at the plate. We also know he's a really good defender. Man, it's crazy. He's not striking out, but he's not walking. His whiffs are below average, but it's not horrible. He hits the ball fairly hard. He's a very mid player at the moment offensively, but I think there's more in the tank. He'll be an interesting one to watch develop. These guys are young. I mean, even Duran's still young, but Marcelo, 23, Roman's 21. Red Sox relying a lot on these young guys, for sure. All right, solo shot. Bayo is not starting, but he'll be the reliever. Oh, so they're doing an opener. What's interesting? Jane actually mentioned about the opener strategy and why they do that. Yesterday, she asked a question on email. So here's my thoughts on the opener strategy. So typically, the reason why you do the opener strategy is because the opposing manager has to set the lineup, right? So if they know they're going to get Bayo as the bulk guy, they're likely to load lefties into the lineup. But if you put a guy like Giovanni Moran, who's opening today, in the starting point, then now you have a tough decision to make. Do you continue to load your lefties knowing Bayo's coming next? Because if you load your lefties up at the top of the order versus Moran, you're actually lowering your run expectancy in the first inning, which is actually the inning where most of the runs are scored. So this puts the manager in a tough spot, the opposing manager in a tough spot. This, of course, was originated by the Rays. You line up a pitcher who you think's great against those top 3 in the order, the typical top 3 in the order. You let him go handle that. And once he gets through that run the first time, then you deploy your starter. He comes in, he faces the middle to the bottom end of the order. And then when he flips that lineup over, it's all fresh again. It's not a second at bat. So there's a little bit of, there's no I've seen you once penalty. And then when you see them the next time, if you get to the third at-bat, there's no I've seen you twice penalty, right? So I think those are the reasons for it. Most starters hate it because they like their routine. Most bullpens kind of hate it because it does feel like, usually you put a pretty good reliever into that opening spot, and now you're kind of shortchanging them on the back end. But you can see why they do it. Analytically, it makes a lot of sense, and it provides a little bit of a tough problem to solve for the opposing manager. With the righty-lefty matchup thing, especially right away in that first inning. I believe Meyer and Anthony live together, both young guys who could really take off. That should be good. He's looking like a major leaguer last 3 weeks. He's been very, very good. All right. Waste Trey Gaming wanted me to take a moment. He did post something in the Discord. So let me hop over to the Discord and see what it is. Yeah, we got a nice overlay here of Darvish and Soriano.
Darvish ready, here comes the 1-2. Darvish ready, here comes the 1-2.
They do seem to have a very similar way of unwinding. Looks like Darvish has more of a longer arm swing than Soriano just a bit, but a very similar way that they come down the mound. So thanks for posting that. That's pretty cool. That's pretty neat to look at.
Darvish ready, here comes the 1-2. Darvish ready, here comes the 1-2. Darvish ready, here comes the 1-2.
I mean, it's not exactly the same, but it looks like they come through in a similar arm angle.
Darvish ready, here comes the 1-2.
And a very similar finish. All right, that's pretty cool. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in here. Talking to me? Hi, love you. You doing good? I know. I'm not going to be on too long today. Maybe another half hour. All right. Anthony flying back to Boston. Hurt hand. If Red Sox at the trade deadline still want to contend for a wild card spot, Duran's the reason they are in a position. Do they move him? I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. They're in a weird spot. I just don't have a feel for them yet in terms of their future yet and what this all means. Are you on OBS? Yeah, I'm an OBS. OBS streamer. That is my mode, my main mode of streaming. OBS. All right. Let me get into our sorter because I had some other people on the list. Pitching wise, we already looked at Davis, Martin, Tolle. Oh, Trevor McDonald. Never heard of this guy. Pitched a heck of a game yesterday. So why don't we give him a little love? I know that my Bay Area world, Victoria, my friend from the Bay Area is not on the stream because she's out at Yosemite. But Trevor McDonald, Giants, Padres. Giants have been in major need of. Also, we can check out Eldridge while we're here. Giants have been in major need of like a little bit of better baseball. They have played really poorly in the early going. This is Trevor McDonald. I don't know who this guy is, but he goes 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, no walks, 8 strikeouts. Is he a Giants top prospect? Let's find out. There he is, number 16, Trevor McDonald. Let's learn about him. Had he already been in the show? Yeah, he already been in the show, so I didn't have to do a Major League debut video. All right, scouting grades. He's 6', 205, 25 years old. He was an 11th rounder. Scouting grades, 45 fastball, but 60 slider, 50 changeup, 50 control, 50 overall. McDonald boosted his stock with a strong Mississippi high school senior season. Signed for second-round money in the 11th round, so he's a prospect. Led the AAA PCL in innings and strikeouts, so that's very good. And his early cups of coffee in the big leagues were very good. Best weapon is a high spin slider in the mid 80s with a more horizontal and vertical action than usual. He sets it up with a 92-95 sinker, touches 97. So sinker slider guy. Got to face the Padres last night. He ended up going 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, no walks, 8 strikeouts. Did give up a home run on only 81 pitches. Player breakdown on Trevor McDonald. 51 sinkers, 25 sliders. So a true sinker slider guy. You would think he would struggle versus lefties. Without even watching him, you would think that. But we'll have to check it out and see what it is. Because actually, yeah, it's a huge sweeper. 1 in 18. And the slide, and then he has, oh no, the sinker is 1 in 18. The slider is -3 and 12. And then changeup 0 and 14. Okay. Let's learn about it. San Diego and San Francisco. Here he is, Trevor McDonald. Let's watch the first 3 pitches as they're all strikeouts. Oh yeah, low arm slot for sure. Gets a generous strike there. Sinker again, and then here comes sinker again. So 3 sinkers in a row with a negative vert. I'm going to guess he's really low arm angle, like lower than 20 degrees, I would guess. As he ties him up right there with a dirty sinker. That was nasty.
Got him, and that's how this game gets started.
Well, I tell you, you can't come out and throw.
Giants fan here, ready for Trev. He got called up to fill that doubleheader thing they had against the Phillies. All right, next up.
What they ought to do is just. What they ought to do is.
Tatis, still without a homer.
He's off to a slow start. He doesn't have a
we got 2 pitches in this clip. That's super weird.
Tatis,
Jams him, flips it out to Arraez, who's also been sneaky good on defense. We should probably cover that as well. Unbelievable. All right, in-play runs. Here's the home run. Third batter of the game.
Making a nice play against the Padres.
Jackson Merrill, changeup. So I figured lefties would be the issue he's going to have, but we'll just have to keep watching him as he gets more time in the show. Jackson Merrill crushes that changeup dead center. 105 at 24. Really nice swing here. It's just a hanging changeup. 0-0. Smash. So there's 1 run. And then he's going to get Manny out with the sinker. You're doing him a huge favor letting him face righties. I mean, that sinker sweeper is going to play versus the righties. This guy makes me feel like I could have started. All right, great hustle by Machado. Second inning. Sinker to Xander. Man, why are these guys talking shit on this text message?
Ranges far to his left and throws him out.
Nice play.
Hold on. All right. There's a ground out. Who's next?
Spirited.
Inside corner strike to Gavin Sheets.
McDonald is listed at 6 foot but looks shorter. Delivery reminds me of someone, but I can't place it. Yeah, I want to try to figure that out too. All right, so here's a called strike, probably front door. Yep. Nice pitch. Well, he's got the same start as, man, who is that who started that way? That's a dirty slider. Negative 18, negative 6.5. I'm trying to place that delivery too. That's nasty. All right, who's next up? Yeah, we got canceled. He had to go into the office today. So
bounces this one up the middle.
golf got shelved. We'll pick it up next week. Nice play there by Arraez. Here's a hit by pitch. Here's a cutter. 94-mile-an-hour cutter. So that's really his 4-seam. Right off the toe. Tough one for Cronenworth. All right, another sinker here to Laureano. Gets in on the hand. So he's a basic sinker sweeper guy. Obviously, I have a soft spot for those. Here's a strikeout to Tatis. He's got velocity. He's got a low arm slot. So at some point, that cutter or 4-seam up will play. Savant has McDonald's arm angle at 33. That seems high. Seems high to me, too. I mean, maybe? Feels low to me, guys. I don't know. I bet it's lower than that now. Anyway, there's a hit. Merrill's 2 for 2.
Really high.
Helping my lefty theory. All right, here's Machado. Chopper, this should be 2. Nope, they're going to get 1. Nice play, nice play.
Nice play.
Pitch.
Sinker back to Mac. Ooh, goes to third. Good heads up. Good heads up baseball here. Gets the lead runner. I'm gonna tell you right now, I would not have done this. I would have thrown it to first because I was afraid of making errors. Nice play. All right, next up, in play out to Sheets. Front door sinker ends up away. Ooh, very fortunate. Good job by Arraez to knock that down. It makes the play to end the inning, saving a run. Nice play. Up next, Miguel Andujar here in the 5th. Oh, off the leg. Looks like he's got some strong legs, though. He makes that play. Damn, this ball smacked him. How hard was that hit? 103 off the leg. 103 off the leg. Right in the butt.
McDonald recovers. Got him.
And you will give.
All right, strikeout on the slider.
1 run against the Dodgers, and he shut out Colorado in Colorado. And there's a
The slider's nasty too, because this is not the sweeper, I don't think, or maybe this is, but this has got a lot of velo on it. 88 too. So it looks like he can crank this multiple speeds. Another slider here. So the slider's the pitch. Slider's nasty. Huge break with huge velocity. And he can toggle it up and down a little bit. Really good pitch. All right, 6th inning.
in the strike zone.
Ooh, a little leg hang slider to Laureano. Grounded to third. He's out. He slipped on the plate. Watch him slip on the plate. This sucks. All right, so you're out. Here's a strikeout of Tatis. Man, Tatis is looking just uninterested at the plate at the moment. Strikes him out with the slider, middle. And then a called strike 3 here to Merrill. So the first time he gets Merrill out is on the front door. Sinker at the top. Nice pitch there. Another inning, 7th inning. Here's Manny. Yeah, I'm actually thinking that too. His body gets low, but the arm angle might be deceptively high. I think you're right. I think you're right, Mitch. It might be a little higher than I thought. It feels low, but you might have that Nishek thing going where it looks lower than it is. Another sinker rolled over. You cannot put this many righties against him. Here's Sheets. Going to punch him out with a front door sinker. That's kind of the antidote for the lefties, is that front door sinker. So really great outing by Trevor McDonald. He pitched great. He pitched freaking great. That sinker is a good pitch. That slider is a great pitch. So it averaged 86.6 with -3 and 12. So that's a ton of break. He's got a ton of spin on that thing, about 2,800 RPM. I guess he's going to hold his spot in the rotation, I would imagine, from here going forward. Trevor McDonald. Good to meet you. Good to meet you. Good to meet you. I wonder if the arm angle seems high because his arm at release is like Kimbrel. His arm doesn't completely straighten, so it gets detected as higher than it actually is. Yeah, he doesn't have the full extension of the elbow. You know, he's lost some range. So, like, even though he's here, since the arm is kicked up a little bit here because he can't fully extend, it's a little higher than it looks. I think that's definitely a possibility. Trying to think who it is with the start of the delivery that's confusing me. It's John Gant. Is it John Gant who you're thinking of? John Gant with the initial setup? Tell me if you think that. I got it as being Gant, former Cardinal, former Brave. Low 3/4. Oh, yeah. All right. Arraez. He's leading all second basemen in outs above average. How is this possible? How is this possible? Fielding run value. Positions, second base. And there he is, ahead of Nico Horner. He is shutting a lot of people up. A lot of people up, including myself, because I thought he was a one-trick pony. All I can do is make contact. I don't really walk. I don't hit for power. I can't base run, and I can't field. Now he's saying, hey, I can field. So do we give all the credit to Ron Wash? Or are we buying it? Will this deteriorate? Because this is a cumulative stat. He's on his way to a Gold Glove right now. I don't think he's going to win the Gold Glove. So could be positioning. Could be something with Ron Wash. Maybe he's a little quicker. I don't think he's any quicker. Sprint speed, 26.6. Bat speed was still incredibly low. Man, what a weird Savant page he always has. Hitting 316, 340. I mean, good signing, but it's not helping them win yet. I mean, this is just crazy, though, to look at. His run value from the other years, and this is the only good year. You just never see it like that. It never completely flips late in your career. Let me see if I can get him on... maybe something on... hold on. Has his sprint speed increased at all? 35th percentile this year, so it looks like he might have gotten a little more twitchy and bouncy with some of the training he was doing. I'm going to guess. Maybe just a little. and that's making a difference with his range, or maybe it's all positioning. I don't really have any idea because, you know, he doesn't have a lot of, generally speaking, he doesn't seem like a very quick guy. Positioning, man, it's a straight up hack for defensive metrics. Good for him. We all deserve a tall glass of shut up juice. He's worked hard, isn't he? Marcus Semien turned himself into a plus defender. No reason Arraez can't. Well, the reason would be if he has no range. If he has no range, you're never going to be a good defender. That's what we're seeing with Bo Bichette, you know, as a player. Once his speed kind of deteriorated, his range deteriorated, his metrics deteriorated. So I don't know. I guess we'll keep watching and we'll check it out. Not really sure. Not really sure what to think of it. So we're gonna credit positioning so far in the chat. All right. Also, from this game, there was the return of Bryce Eldridge. He did walk once. The big fella. He came up last year and did nothing, but he's a big time number one prospect of the Giants so far in AAA. This year, he was hitting .333, .445 on base, .518 slug for a .963 OPS, 30 games, 25 runs, 38 hits, 5 of them being home runs, 6 of them being doubles. Did strike out 41 times. In how many games? 41 times in 30 games is not, it's not great. It's not that bad. And then he also walked 20 times. So, maybe this is time to break out Prospect Savant. Oh, I actually have it pulled up way over here in the corner. Haven't used it in a while, but Bryce Eldridge. This was 2026. This is what we were looking at in AAA. So K percentage, 21st percentile, 30.1% K. But you know what? That's a little bit of a mitigated. He's mitigated a little bit of that. That was like up around 40%, I want to say, last year. So again, he's another one of these guys. Murakami. I mean, we've talked about a ton of these guys. Jordan Walker. You know, if they can mitigate some of that whiff and just, you know, bring the Ks just out of the very bottom into the medium bottom, then they can let their power work. And that's what he's kind of doing. I mean, you see he's 90th percentile or better on a lot of these metrics. So I'm excited that they have him up there. I know we didn't do anything yesterday, but this is a guy that could really help out. Giants have been starving for power. You know, that's why they had Adames. That's why they signed, Devers. Those guys aren't doing it right now. So enter Eldridge, and maybe he can make an impact on the Giants. Let's go take a look at some of the expected stats as a group for the Giants. First, we'll look at the hitters, and then we'll look at the pitchers, because this is the issue they have right now. Their best 3 hitters on paper and their highest 3 paid guys are their worst 3 hitters so far in the season. Chapman, 267 ex-WOBA. Devers, 263 ex-WOBA. And Willie, 260 ex-WOBA. That's very, very tough to win like that when those are your 3 best guys and your 3 power threats. Helio Ramos is about neutral right now. Casey Schmidt's the only guy in the red. So they've had a huge offensive problem. Enter Bryce Eldridge. Hopefully he can clean that up. You know, because I don't mind the Jung-Hoo Lee and Luis Arraez part of it. Like, they're doing their thing. They're hitting 272 and 316 respectively. And they're being table setters, and that's kind of the goal. But it's those other guys that are really, really poor. Really, really poor at the plate. As for their pitchers, and I said, this, to me, they just don't feel like a Giants pitching staff's actually been a lot better than I thought. Really driven by some young guys dealing. Wynn, Roop's been a big one. Killian. But yeah, the hitting has been really bad, so it's forcing this group to be perfect. And while they're a good group, they're not a great group. And so that's kind of what they're running into as a club right now. But we're excited about Bryce Eldridge. All right, back to the chat. This past offseason was probably a little embarrassing for Arraez. Yeah, and you know, that's why he got to work, and maybe it's making a difference. I've watched a few of Ron Washington's fielding videos with the Giants. It seems like he hammers the first step and the approach angle for fielders. I don't know if that's a metric you can check. Can't check it, but it makes a lot of sense. That first step and on the right angle is going to help you cover more ground, regardless of your speed. So maybe that's a big factor in why he's doing better. When does Posey start looking like the greater fool to take on the Devers money? I mean, already I feel like he is looking that way. So we'll see, because it's a lot of years. It's one thing to have a guy struggling now, but this is going to be a big problem for a long time for them. Giants also called up Jesus Rodriguez, who they got from the Yankees in the Duvall trade. Both he and Eldridge were in the lineup last night. Rodriguez still not MLB ready at catcher, but Giants are desperate for offense. Oh, okay. So Jesus Rodriguez, where did he rated number 18, catcher, third base. He was off to a great start as well in AAA, hitting 330, 400 on base, 840 OPS. So that's why he gets the call. Let's check out Jesus on Prospect Savant. There he is. So yeah, he gets the call because they're desperate for offense. So he's a guy with not a lot of exit velo, but no whiff. No whiff. Chase is a little too much, but this is a guy who can put the ball in play. Also looks like a straight gangster out of Venezuela. Signed for $10K, so an absolute minor league grinder is getting his chance in the show. Never punches out. All right, we'll see if this guy pops and does anything, but another interesting piece. I mean, Patrick Bailey hasn't hit for a couple years now. I know defensively he's the best, but Jesus Rodriguez is also up there. All right, some are saying the Devers is a reverse Panda. Okay, I kind of like that. All right, here we go. Otto, huge question. Assuming we get two-way guys like Shohei in the future, will we ever see one who can field while not DHing? In fact, why not one who can also catch? Catching's tough because there's so many more throws. You know, you're throwing every ball back to the pitcher, even though it's low volume. So I think that's a thing. I mean, Shohei could field. He could play right field. I think at some point that itch will get scratched. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, they're already carrying so much of a workload hitting and being awesome at hitting and being awesome at pitching. Why add some more things? But yeah, you'll see it at some point. I think that's a good question. A two-way pitcher-catcher might need to be a cyborg. Now in retirement, do you ever wake up in a panic thinking you slept late and should get to the stadium? No, but no. No. I know he took the L yesterday, but it appears we were all wrong about Sugano and Coors. It's early. I'm not going to give Sugano too much credit yet. He's got great command, so I knew that was a possibility. But, I mean, it's a mirage right now, guys. It's a mirage. He's going to end up giving up a ton of runs. I know he's got a 3.41, but, I mean, again, your 18th percentile in whiff at Coors, let it play out. He's going to have some tough outings there for sure. What's helping him is that he's got great command. He never walks you, so those things have to be on point at Coors. And then this pitch mix, this is something that the Rockies have leaned into. Huge mixes, keeping guys off the barrel. But I think ultimately this season's performance starts to crater at some point for Sugano. Me personally, at least. But so far, yeah, he's making me look like an idiot so far. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, 22 strikeouts in 37 innings. It's not a good formula for Coors. But yeah, give him credit. So far, he's been pretty good. He did lose to the Mets yesterday. But overall, so far, he's been pretty good. All right, what else did I have on the list here? Oh, yeah, one more guy to really... I never looked at Schlittler. It's fine. I did want to check in really quick on Jackson Chourio. Jackson Chourio had a big day yesterday. Finally, as he came back to the active roster for the first time and hit the ground running. This is a huge factor. The Brewers, they're one of those teams like the Rays. As much as they mix and match and it kind of works, they need their stars to star. It's like the Rays need Caminero. They needed Wander Franco when he was there. The Brewers absolutely need Jackson Chourio to be a star. He hasn't quite broken out yet, although he's been good both years. 20 home runs both years. He's only 22 years old. So looking for a breakout. He had a great day yesterday in his first day back. So let's go watch his at-bats. Who did the Brewers play yesterday? The Cardinals. All right, Cardinals-Brewers. Cardinals continue to keep winning, but I wanted to check in on Jackson Chourio real quick as he made his return. From injury, 4 for 4 and a walk. So let's watch all his at-bats. This guy, to me, this guy's got big-time super duper star potential. I think everybody knows it. He just hasn't quite done it yet. He's only 22, so we'll give him some time. They need my guy Fish, Andrew Fisher. This guy's a beast. Bring him up. All right. First hit of the season comes on a Kyle Leahy sweeper. Ooh, demolished. He's so quick to the ball. He can go out to all parts of the park. I think he combines a very quick launch speed with big bat speed, and obviously he's fast. 108.3 at 22. I love this swing. He's Michael Garcia with more power for me. At the plate. Great swing. All right, next at bat.
Getting ready for that, and that's how he got hurt.
So hammers a mistake, breaking ball in the middle, first at bat. Now, sweeper strike. Here's a fastball. Fouled off 0-2. My hot take is Chourio is basically Ian Happ. Happ's production with slightly better tools. I think maybe that's fair for now, but I think that Chourio's ceiling is higher than Happ. I think he's got to have a chance to make more contact. Maybe not be a better defender, but steal more bases. And I think his OPS should settle in higher than Happ. But even if it doesn't, Happ's a good player. All right, so here is second hit of the day. It's on a sinker down. Stays inside that, lines that to center. All right, third at bat. So he's hit a sweeper and a sinker so far off Leahy. Here's the third at bat against Leahy. Slider away. I mean, I get your comparison.
25th, 26th, and 27th of May. Divisional games until we saw Pittsburgh.
All right, let's see what he gets him here in the third at bat. Again, falls behind 1-2. Curveball coming here. That's a spit. Sinker coming here. Shoots that one foul.
Leahy, nice rhythm. Piers and powers.
Force him away. And sinker coming here. Stays inside that sinker again. So it looks great on the sinker and the sweeper. Attack from Leahy. 3 for 3 right there. All right, now George Soriano. His job is to get on base here. He clearly knows that. Doing a little fake bunt early and a little take, trying to get himself in a good count. Soriano's been spamming sliders and changeups this year. Doesn't really throw his 97-mile-an-hour heater very often. All right, 3-1 slider. Swing and miss, and then he's going to go ahead and walk on the 3-2 slider. So 3 at-bats, 4 at-bats, 4 plate appearances, all on base all 4 times, and then he's going to get his 4th hit here on a slider from Graceffo, and he smashes this ball. I mentioned how he's got elite oppo power too, Jackson Chourio. See those exit velos? He's got a 108 and a 109 in this game. Hit the ball off the wall in both gaps and 2 singles to right center. So it's just one of the things I love about him is he's so balanced at the plate. He likes to stay to the big part of the field. I mean, of course, he would hit more home runs if he was more pull-oriented, but I just think he's a really tough guy to pitch to. He's got nothing in his setup that you can mess with his timing with. And this is a big get for the Brewers in what's becoming an incredibly tense NL Central race. So they're going to need everything they can get, and they need their stars to star, and he's the star. I think this is the year he breaks that 800 OPS as a 22-year-old. So what a beast. There's Jackson Chourio. All right, one more player to look at, and it's going to be Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker had a good game yesterday for the Dodgers against the Astros. 2 hits for Tuck yesterday. He's starting to heat up a little bit. 711 OPS now. 2 for 5 with a homer. Let's just check it out. Dodgers, Astros. All right, first at bat is a single versus Okert. Here back in Houston, where it all started for him. I like those Dodgers blue unis on the road, man. Those are clean. So 0-2 on slider, and now another slider. And he's going to get a very lucky hit blooping it in to left. Man, it's impossible to get a bloop hit to left in that ballpark, but he just accomplished that goal. And then next at bat, he's going to go home run off of Ryan Weiss.
So tomorrow,
Sweeper foul ball. Sweeper again.
Hispanic-themed Astros hats.
1-1, and then four-seam homer.
Beautiful. Dollar Dog, Cinco de Mayo, and the Dodgers
Bam.
are in town. This
Nice
ball
swing.
Struck well by Kyle Tucker, and he has done it again. He hit
So
a
they're
home
looking
run
to get him going.
last year
106.8 at 22, 376 feet.
Against the Astros.
We've talked a lot about the Tucker, kind of how he drops the bat into the slot right there with this move, and then he just carries him through. I think he's going to get hot here soon. But I wanted to check in on him hitting a home run here. That low bring through the zone. He never flips over that bottom hand. He's so good at staying away from rolling over. He does a lot of this and not a lot of this. You can see it here in the slow motion. All right. Let me check in on Tuck on the Savant. Yeah, I mean, it's been extremely mid, but I think that he's just getting going here. He'll be back close to 800 OPS, I bet, by the end of May. There's nothing here that's a red flag. He just hasn't gotten hot yet. So that's good to see. All right, one last thing to check up on was that Schlittler game yesterday. I know that he wasn't this is probably his worst start of the year. Still only gave up 1 run, had 3 walks, got bailed out by a huge strikeout by Jake Bird that I want to watch in a second. But 5 2/3, 7 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. The biggest thing with Schlittler all year has been the lack of walk. Obviously, the approach with the 3 fastballs is impressive. He was up over 100. He threw 101.3 in this game yesterday. He averaged 99.6. So he had incredible velo across the board. Averaged 95.5 with his cutter. And even 99 with the sinker. So the stuff was insane yesterday. Got in a little trouble with his command. Only 52% first pitch strikes. That's ultimately what hurt him. Didn't get a ton of chase. But he continues to be the same. He's fine. He's one of the best pitchers in the league. As for Jake Bird, he came in and got 1 out, and it was a huge out. So let's go to it in this game, as he's kind of in that Ottavino role. You know, come in and face the one big righty in the big spot. And I think that's where he fits in with this Yankee roster. So he comes in to face Jeremiah Jackson in a huge spot here and immediately gets an automatic ball on the pitch timer because the pitch clock was because the pitch comm wasn't working. So bases loaded, 1-0 count. Here is the first pitch sweeper to Jackson, gets the swing and miss. That's nasty. 85. Nice pitch. All right, next up, sweeper again. That was the hittable pitch, but again, he's got a pretty good sweeper. He's trusting it. Gets the foul pop, gets to the 1-2 count. Now they go for that cutter, which is really his 4-seam up in the zone. Too high, 2-2, and then the big pitch of the night ends up being a sweeper away, gets it away. And it had lift on it. What a unique pitch. 7.4 inches of lift with 18 to the left at 86. This is a true plus pitch. Check out how it kind of rises. Look at that. Look at that rise to the left. And Jackson runs out of bat. Just a great pitch. Big moment for Bird. I think he's one of the guys that if they can get him right, I really think he can be an impact guy for the Yankees down the stretch, because they're gonna be working through their bullpen once everybody gets healthy in the rotation. But this is a guy that since Jake Cousins was there and got hurt, they really haven't had another guy like this. So it's a weapon that you need to have. The sinker slider, righty dominant guy, and that's Jake Bird. He gets a huge punch out here. He's juiced. So I wanted to highlight that. That was the pitch of the night for the Yankees. Save Schlittler some potential earned runs, and then they go on and roll through it. And they win it. All right, let me hop in the chat for a minute, and then I'm going to do probables, and that's it for today. I have a bunch of stuff I have to go do with the wife. The range and foot speed decline scares me a bit. About Tucker, I'm not worried yet. From the hitting perspective, there wasn't any red flags there. Obviously, you don't want to see a guy declining in speed and stuff, but also a lot of older players, sometimes there's a little bit of a fake decline where they just play at 80%. And they don't have as many competitive runs as you would think. But we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Random question. 7 of 43 MLB pitching debuts, adding in Gamboa so far from the Red Sox. What is happening with our Red Sox? Nothing. They just feel really good about their development, and they're trying to find the right mix. I mean, they came in this year with only like four, maybe 5 relievers they liked, and then the rest were going to get churned to begin with, and they've run into starter trouble. So it doesn't surprise me that Alec Gamboa is getting called up. Doesn't surprise me at all. All right, that's it for the show today. Appreciate you guys. Let's hit the probables, and then we're gonna move on, and I'll see you guys tomorrow on Wednesday. Thanks for hanging with me today on a very nice Tuesday show. All right, as mentioned before, Giovanni Moran is doing the opener today versus the Tigers. Bello will follow him. This is a big start for Bello. We'll see how he responds. We'll also see how the Red Sox hit Framber, who's been outstanding to start the year. He's been great, so we'll see how he looks. Jays, Rays, Gosman, Rasmussen. Can somebody stop the Rays? The Rays have been winning. Jays are going to try to stop them. They throw Gauzy at him today down in Tampa. A's, Phillies, Sevy, and Sanchez. Phillies are trying to get some momentum going too, just like the Mets. This game would go a long way if they can play well against the A's here. They are at home. And they do draw Luis Severino, who they've seen quite a bit. Sanchez on the mound for the Phillies. Orioles, Marlins, Bassett, Sandy in Miami. Orioles are desperate to play a little bit better. They just got swept out of town by the Yankees, so we'll see if they can pick it up versus the Marlins. Twins, Nationals, Taj Bradley, Cade Cavalli. Rangers, Yankees. This is a rematch of last week when Elmer made his debut. I have to say, I'm not a big fan of the way Elmer's arm looks right here. I don't like that. I don't like how flipped down it is. I find that's going to put pressure on the front of his shoulder. Anyway, DeGrom versus Elmer tonight from the stadium. Yankees are red hot. They just saw DeGrom, so let's see how he looks in Game 2, back-to-back starts against the Yankees. Reds, Cubs, Abbott, and JMO from Wrigley. The Cubs have been unstoppable at home. See if they can keep that going. Guardians, Royals, Gavin Williams, who's been great this year, versus Stephen Kolek of the Royals. Brewers, Cardinals, Sproat, and Palante. Dodgers, Astros, Shohei, Peter Lambert. So Shohei obviously is making his attempt. Yeah, that was a Sean Markham look, huh? Too flipped up for me. Too flipped down for me. Shohei, Peter Lambert. So Shohei, as we know, he's striving for that Cy Young. Let's see how he throws against the Astros, who have a very good offense. I'm very intrigued by the Shohei versus Jordan at-bats tonight, so I'm going to check in on that. Mets, Rockies. There's some info here from Phil, who's on the ground in Denver. Big storm coming their way. Not sure if that will happen, if they'll move it up or whatever, but Peralta and Lorenzen from Coors. White Sox, Angels desperate to play better. They turn to my Italian friend, Sam Aldegheri. He gets Eric Fetty and the White Sox tonight. Pirates, Diamondbacks, Bubba Chandler. Can he throw strikes? Can he command the zone a little better than he has been? And he gets the Diamondbacks and Eduardo Rodriguez tonight in the desert. Braves, Mariners, Elder, George Kirby. And then our final game of the night, Padres, Giants. Giants have the 2 rookies up there. They have their ace on the mound. They need to get some momentum. They got the Padres tonight and Walker Buehler. All right, that's it for the show. Thanks, guys, for hanging with me all day today. And I'll see you on tomorrow's show on Wednesday. All right, have a great one, everybody. See you later. All right, bye-bye. Adios.